Yo, shout it out to everybody out there. What's going on, man? How y'all doing out there? Nitty Brim, G'd Up Quinn, New Black World Order. I see y'all in the chat. Glad to have y'all joining with us tonight, man. I'm your host, Moshe Canty. Y'all already know what it is, man. We locked in, man. We locked in. Hey, yo, New Black World Order, man. What's up, man? You just shouting out Mikey B? What's going on, man? What's the deal with that? I'm feeling some ways, man. What's going on, man? Yeah, I hope everybody's doing great out there, man. I hope individuals got time to pull up, because for the most part, we got a serious topic we need to discuss tonight. This topic is definitely going to be on point, but we're going to go through a whole litany of issues that I want to be able to address. At some point, I'm expecting Mikey or perhaps KK to join us, whatever like that. But if not, I'm gonna basically hold it down. But I just need y'all to basically, man, just be patient with me, man. Put your comments in the chat. Please be respectful to each other, man. I truly appreciate that. But I look forward to everybody just, us having a good time tonight. It's definitely an opportunity for us to benefit from this information I want to share with y'all. But before I do so, I just want to basically shout everybody out and give y'all props, man. Y'all been supporting us from day one, and those individuals who have come on board afterwards. We just appreciate the love and support that you guys have been giving us, to We Locked In. We want to continue to provide you guys with quality content, stuff that we all could benefit from, and no disrespect to anybody else in particular, but we just want to just kind of focus on those issues that's pertinent. We want to share information where we can benefit from it in our immediate time, as well as in the future as well. So again, shout out to everybody out there, and all praises due to Allah for affording me the opportunity to be able to give you this information. So in our journeys, Daryl Carr, peace and blessings to you, my brother. So this is the deal. On our journeys, right? So we've been asked the question, all of us are continuously asked the question, why we chose the name We Locked In, right? So that's just one thing I want to address. And the reason why is because I've actually heard individuals kind of say, yo, what's the purpose of you using something that is a reference to, prison and incarceration and things like that. So Nashawn DB, I see you, my brother. So my thing is this, right? And this, when we were coming up with names for our YouTube channel, we was trying to come up with something. We came up with a variety of names, right? So I threw a bunch in the hat. Mike threw a bunch in the hat. KK did the same thing, or whatever the case may be like that. But collectively, we agreed to come with We Locked In. Now, definitions can have different interpretations to them. And it's what you basically define. I mean, that's one thing about us as a people. We're very, resilient. We're very creative. We can do whatever we want to do, and we don't have to box ourselves in. So when we came up with the term We Locked In, the whole concept was that on one hand, we would basically say that We Locked In was not us actually being physically locked in into a cell, but we would basically focus on like being focused on what our objectives are, what our goals are, what our aims are. When you locked in, when you tapped in, you ain't letting nothing distract you. You dig what I'm saying? We know that in life there's a lot of distractions, and it's easy to get distracted. So if you get easily distracted, you can kind of just, your goals, your aspirations, everything you got focused on can kind of lead you astray. That's what happened to us in our younger years. We wasn't locked in. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't tapped in. We wasn't focused. We allowed all of the other stuff around us to kind of distract us from what it is that we should have been doing, which is to keep us out of trouble. But that wasn't the case. So We Locked In. It's what's known as a double entendre. And a double entendre has like dual meanings to it. On one hand, it can mean being locked in and being focused. But on the other hand, it's also a reminder to us of where we came from. We don't want to forget that we just spent an exorbitant amount of time spent in those prisons up north. So it's a way for us to kind of hold ourselves to account and be reminded, like, yo, we don't want to do 25 years no more. We don't want to do 22 years no more. We don't want to do all this other time, or whatever the case might be like that. So that's why we said, you know what, we want to focus specifically on this name here as a reminder. Another thing, it also allows us to be reminded of those individuals who we left behind. There's a lot of comrades who got life bids, individuals who are never coming home, and this is some of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. It's just putting things into perspective and not losing sight of the fact that there's a bigger fight at hand here, right? It's a bigger struggle going on, and we're going to do everything in our power not to forget where we came from, but also still showing love to our comrades who rely upon us for a number of things. Our comrades who are putting in clemency packets, who are trying to come home, they rely upon us. Some individuals like myself, we got good jobs now. We come out here after doing all this time in prison. Mike is a case manager. KK is a case manager right now. You know, I'm assistant director, and we also got our own respective businesses. So it's like now we're in a better position to be able to help those individuals who we left behind. So we can put ourselves in a position where we can say to the people who just let us go, listen, there's individuals in there who are just like us, who at being young and stuff like that, committed their time and their energy to destructive behavior. But look at how we turned out. So now we can be used as references for individuals to write letters of support. I know I do it all the time. I write letters on behalf of individuals, and this is not no way for me to gloat or anything. I'm just using it for context that people on the inside rely upon us. And let's say, for instance, somebody's doing their clemency packet, or they going up for their parole board, or they going up for their time allowance committee. Then I could put a letter in support of them and say, listen, this is Moshe Canty, the individual who spent 15 years in the box, the individual who was fighting police in every jail he went in, right? I can then say, look at my background and use this as an opportunity to say, this right here is a way for somebody else to basically benefit from coming out to society. So that's why when we say we locked in, we not losing focus, but we're not bringing incarceration and prison to the streets, but we're using it as a way to also say we want to basically break those chains of not only psychological but physical slavery as well. So I hope I was able to clarify that. Shout out to everybody that just pulled up to the chat. Miss Sunshine, C Fresh 1000. I see all y'all. Duck Deuce, everybody that's tuned in. I see my brother Mike. He even out there, probably whatever he's out there doing, he tapped in as well. So shout out to everybody that's pulled up. All right, so give me 1 second, you guys. Hold on. Omni 95, I see you. Peace, y'all. So I want to address something else real quick. First of all, I want to say shout out to the brothers who are behind the wall. I want to say shout out to the sisters who are behind the wall. America still leads the world in incarcerating its citizens. On any given day, on any given level, individuals are basically locked up, fighting for their lives. Like never anywhere in the world you see individuals fighting. Noble Essence, I see you. Shout it out. America is incarcerating individuals left and right. It's ridiculous. So with that being the case, we should be very mindful of shouting individuals out who rely upon us, just to remember them. An individual should understand that listen, it's not a game, man. Like I just mentioned, man, you got people who are never coming home. The link is in the chat, y'all. Mikey, KK, the link is in the chat. So we want to shout out those individuals who are never coming home, and even individuals who are coming home. And we want to let individuals know, listen, don't give up no hope. Stay focused, stay up in them books, educate yourself while you're there, instead of getting caught up in all the prison yard politics that'll help you perpetuate the cycle of recidivism. It's more important that you basically use this time wisely as a training ground and educate yourself with everything that you need to train yourself with. So when you do get back out here, you will equip yourself with the tools and the resources available to kind of help you excel and exceed. So, but again, shout out to everybody who we have personal relationships with, and individuals who we don't have personal relationships with. KK, I already put the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. It's right there. Just got to look at it, my brother. So, just for those individuals who we might not know. So if you're able to listen to us, and no matter where you are at in the world, then please, man, just make sure that you tap into hey, my brother, salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. What's good?
So, and I briefly touched on the clemency letter thing, right? And I know that this is important. So what happens for individuals who don't know what clemency is when an individual who has spent a significant amount of time, and quite frankly, he or she doesn't have to spend significant time in prison to be able to put a clemency packet in. But what it does is that you can either put one into on the state level, which would be you send it to the governor of your state, or for individuals who are in the feds, they can basically send it to the United States, or the president of the United States, which seeking clemency on the federal level. So on a state level, what happens is that if you've displayed, no matter if you did the crime or not, but if you displayed a level of good behavior while you are incarcerated and you have things working in your favor, you can gather support from not only individuals who are inside of prison or organizations as well, but from anybody who you believe might be some assistance to you. So it's very important that we are not leaving our people behind, or we're not forgetting people who are spending time behind the wall, because they rely upon us in times of need. And I notice from experiences that individuals are continuously reaching out, asking, can they support us in their endeavors to be released? And I know how it feels to be sitting in the cell, looking for that help and not getting the help that you want. So please, that's something. If you have loved ones who are in need of your assistance, please, man, do everything in your power to provide some type of assistance so that these individuals can come back out here with the support that's needed. Okay, what's up, my brother? How you been?
What's happening, man? Good, man. Good.
Ain't nothing, man. Obviously, man, just going over some obvious topics that we need to address. So I'm about to share the screen with everybody right now. With some articles I want to pull up real quick. Give me a second. Hold on, Kay. Yo, Mikey, what's up, my brother?
Yo, peace, bro. What up?
Yo, everything is all right, my brother. Just taking it easy. We're gonna go over real quickly, man. We're gonna go over some current news real quick, some current events in the news. And the first thing I want to touch up is, before I even get there, I just want you guys to see it. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yo, peace, bro. What's up, man? What up, KK?
Everything is great, bro.
Me and Wifey just came from food shopping, yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heard up. Filled that refrigerator up, you know what I'm saying?
Alhamdulillah. That's a blessing.
I actually was inside chilling. I had this and running around for my mother. Take care of some stuff for her.
Yo, man. Yo, we got different problems. I'll be telling people, from what we had in our past. I live on the corner. My house is on the corner of the block. Yeah. And people just stole so much trash, bro. I got liquor bottles. It's all kind of trash cans, all kind of stuff in my house, bro. It's crazy, right? I went out there yesterday and it was like tissue. I don't even understand. It was like I had to go get some surgical gloves to pick that stuff up. It's just different, bro. But yeah, man.
That's the sad part of valuing community. If individuals value community, individuals wouldn't have to go through that type of stuff, man.
Man. When you speak of that, like I even like I be helping like the people around my neighbors. I be helping them with their yards. I got some older neighbors and stuff like that. I'll be doing the gutters. If I'm doing mine, I do their gutters too. You know what I'm saying? I'll be picking up stuff, not even on my yard or other people's yard. Helping out in the street and just doing stuff around. You know what I mean?
As you should.
And we just it's just taking where you live at and your community more serious than you really do. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. But yeah, man.
Kind of been, it's crazy. Can you somebody talking about that? That kind of been lost, man. The essence of community, man.
Yeah, bro. Nah. And we could do so much just from doing little things. It can equal up to so much. I mean, putting our money
That's
together,
a fact.
Working to free people and doing different stuff like that. It's just amazing, bro. I'm gonna start like a lot of the community work I do and a lot of community work that we do. We're gonna just start posting that stuff. We're gonna just start posting it, just showing it. So because maybe it can motivate other people to do some more things and be down, get and start working as well, bro. Because we can use everybody. We can use, word up.
I'm having a little technical difficulty trying to upload this information, man. Oh, there you go. I'm trying to upload this info. Mikey, you more advanced in this than me.
You could just screen share it. You know what I'm saying? Just share your screen.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to share it, but I'm having some issues. Please forgive me, y'all. And it's definitely an issue that needs to be discussed. But before we get there, I want to talk about the recent deaths on Rikers Island that's been taking place. On Rikers Island. This year, right now, individuals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking for the article right now. It's been 18 individuals that have died on Rikers Island. I see Duck Deuce just mentioned it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right now, Duck Deuce. I'm actually trying to get the article so I can share it with y'all, so y'all can see it and y'all can see exactly what's going on before we get up to the main discussion for the night. There's a couple of issues I want to briefly kind of touch on. And yes, that's definitely one of the issues. And I mean, quite frankly, it doesn't seem like nobody's even talking about these issues. It just seems like, if you are aware of it, then it's as if people can care less about it. And that could be troubling in and of itself. So it's just something I want to talk about, and I want to kind of spark a little quick conversation. Like, yo, like what do we think about the fact that on Rikers Island, 18 people have died this year, man? 18 people, man. 18 people, man. What do y'all think about that, man? Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this? Am I just talking to myself right now, or can y'all see this?
Yeah, I can see that, bro.
Okay, so this is the deal right here, right? And this is what's going on right there on Rikers Island right now as we speak. So as we speak, man, individuals are dying left and right. And what's the cause of all this death? So people are out front right now on Rikers Island demanding that they close Rikers Island. I mean, I know that that's been a discussion for the last couple of years that Rikers Island would be closed. But outside of the closing piece, right? What's really going on in Rikers Island right now where individuals are losing their lives? It's happening under suspicious circumstances. Some people are saying that individuals themselves are hanging themselves. Individuals are dying from drug overdoses, while other individuals are saying that individuals are dying at the hands of the COs that's there. So I think that this is definitely something that needs to be discussed. It needs to be the people out here that we have influence over need to be made aware of this, because it's just something that we shouldn't just overlook. All right. Thank y'all, everybody who has basically told me that y'all can see it or whatever the case may be like that. And I want you guys to just look at this, man. Just get an opportunity to look at this, man. It says protesters demand closure of Rikers Island. And you can kind of see what's going on. People are out there on the front lines putting in work, basically saying, listen, enough is enough. Why is it that you individuals are continuously violating the rights of those individuals who are confined to these prisons? And this is just something that we need to be very aware of. I know from experience, Mikey B knows from experience, KK knows from experience what it's like. And I'm sure a lot of individuals that's in the chat either been on Rikers Island themselves or have relatives that have been incarcerated or that have been detained on Rikers Island as well. It's something that we should be aware of. It's something that you should be supportive of your loved ones of, because at any given moment, because of the deplorable conditions, that exactly too much lead poison, among other things. These are just things that we should be aware of, but we should not turn our backs to this, because by doing so, we never know what our circumstances would be. Today, it's somebody who's on the news, and tomorrow is one of our children. It's one of our relatives, people who we have close relationships to. So I just kind of wanted to share this as during our current event segment, man. We kind of give you guys some up-to-date news of what's going on out there, so nobody will be blinded as to the realities that we're confronted with on a daily basis. Hold on, let me go to the next one, because I know it's been so much going on out there. It's been a lot taking place out there, as you guys would expect. And I think it's obvious that we're gonna, let me see.
Say he's
Peace.
Say he was in there 1993, so you know he was crazy.
Come on, dog. You know back then it was a whole different level back then.
See fresh little brother in there right now.
Nitty Brim, what up?
Nitty
Brim, shout it out. You already know what it is, man.
Salute.
Yeah, bro. But let me tell you something about the culture of Rikers Island. Is like predator or prey.
It's horrible.
A lot, it's crazy.
Go ahead, KK.
I had a conversation with someone, right? They just finding out about how much time I did, and they're not from New York, but people in other states, countries, whatever, they hear about Rikers Island. So it's this big thing, like, yo, wow, you was there, Rikers Island, and with the Browder story with him, and then just countless other stories that came out of Rikers Island. So when I was telling them like, yeah, I was actually there, and we're telling them stories, they couldn't believe it, and it's crazy. Like now, even being on this type of platform, you got to understand. There's so many people that do not really understand how foul Rikers Island really is. They'll hear stories, they'll hear things, but it's like they promote the officers and stuff. They promote the animalism of you know what I'm saying, of the inmates that's in there.
Absolutely.
And they bring out the absolute worst in you. Until I did a bid. My first bid, it was a lot easier. I was in when I came upstate and everything.
It's one visit a week now. That's it.
That's crazy. But it was like 3 visits a week before, right?
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah.
Tuesday, it was like
2 days, one every Sunday. I think everybody had a visit.
Saturday, Sunday, Friday, everybody, right?
Yeah, Friday, everybody.
Saturday
Thursday,
or Sunday.
A to L, M to Z. Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
A to L to M to Z.
Yeah.
And then you had like Tuesday or Wednesday or some shit, or Wednesday or Thursday. Because I know Monday and Tuesday was no visits. Wednesday and Thursday, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, right? Something like that, right?
One of those days.
But being in there, like the police, they beat me up bad. And after that, I got into so much stuff with the COs in there. After that, I was like, I had like a vendetta. It was beef. It was like real. It was real, but they beat me bad, bro. And Bailey, Captain Bailey, he was turned into the, he was running around down the warden Bailey. He the one that he had sick ERU on me. And before that time, I didn't have we had little skirmishes with the cops when you're getting arrested, resisting arrest. I was always a fighter when it came to you locking me, put me in jail. I was always a fighter. I'm a runner. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get busy for you to get me in there. That's how I used to think. But besides that, they crunched me and I ain't gonna front, bro. I was like, and my mental state.
That was a regular thing, and that's people don't understand. That was a regular thing.
Yeah, it was bad though. They were bad with that though. They were
police
bad
jumping, beating you up, whatever down there.
It was bad with that though. They was like extra.
Regular thing. It's like you're gonna get on the police.
Yeah,
they're gonna violate. They're gonna do something. They're gonna push the thing. So the only way, like,
I seen police cutting people. They was breaking arms, breaking legs. They was going hard, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, we was ready and we was built for it. So it was bad though, bro. I ain't gonna front. It was bad. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was really bad on the island.
You gotta see it to believe it. Then they sicking dudes on other people, letting them beat up kids, letting them kill kids in certain circumstances. So it's bad, bro. They like
talking about how we had it. It was like when you got certain officers coming, like, and this was an adolescence thing. The grown women messing with adolescents in there. Like, this shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad though. It's like, like I said, I got beat up.
Horrible. How people eat, just the conditions, the hygienic conditions. It was just crazy, bro.
Yo, do y'all see this photo up right now?
Yes.
All right, so this is something that's definitely been in the news lately. We know all.
I'm glad you put that up too. I definitely
we know the conversation that Kanye has had on Drink Champs and everything like that, as well as the recent comments that Kyrie Irving made, and what to follow that up with his recent having to be suspended, and recently I just heard that he was let go. I don't know if that's true. But I was, taking care of some stuff early, and I was trying to figure it out. I didn't even look to see if that was. I didn't even confirm that. Maybe you guys can confirm that. But these are just conversations I think that we need to have, because on one hand, Kanye, is who he is. I mean, I don't think anybody would deny the fact that he's going to say what he has to say, how he's going to say it, and the comments that he said, as well as Kyrie. So both of their positioning is the same way, in the sense where they both are claiming, and just for clarification purposes, both of them are saying that we all of us, black and brown bodies in particular, are the original descendants of those individuals, the prophets Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and things of that nature, and that the original Hebrew Israelites were individuals who themselves were black and brown bodies. They were not individuals who were European, so to speak. So, allegedly, or not even allegedly, individuals who are of Eurocentric background, the Jews of today, they basically took offense to that. So as you see with Kanye, they began taking his
That's what he said.
So and I was listening to the he said a lot in the interview, in addition to some of the things that he said about the late George Floyd, which was, I'm not gonna give my opinion regarding either way, one way or another, but what he basically stated, what I heard him say about being children of the prophets Abraham and things like that. And then he went on to kind of like say that, like the Jews have the control over the media and Hollywood and things of that nature. So these are some of his comments that he basically stated, and how they basically like are enslaving individuals with these contracts and things like that, and fomenting strife and things like that. All right. So now on one hand, now Kyrie he posted something about a documentary which is not on Netflix. I forgot exactly what station is on, but he quoted something of saying something about a documentary known as From Hebrews to Negroes, and he didn't expound upon it or the documentary itself. He didn't speak about its veracity or the fact that it was untrue. He just basically put it up there, and he got some backlash from that. And as to both of these individuals, endorsers and sponsors, they've been pulling left and right. Kyrie stood firm for a minute. I'm not gonna say he didn't stand firm afterwards, but they basically he ended up giving the $500,000 along with the Nets organization to the Anti-Defamation League, which is a league run by individuals from the Jewish community, etc., etc. Individuals were offended. A lot of people have been commenting on this thing, and this has caused like an uproar. Some people saying F Ye. Nobody cares about Ye. Who gives a damn about Ye? Whatever. And individuals are saying Kyrie should have stood firm. Like, it's so much going on. But what you guys think about all of this? It's
crazy too. It was there was a sister that just posted something, right? And I just love what she says so much. It's almost like it's like a public lynching going on right in front of people's face, right? And nobody realizes what's going on. Where they're actually where, your big corporations, big companies, where they're actually showing you their power, actually showing you if you don't conform and do what we say or do things how we like to do it, you're done. Okay. They're actually showing you that right in your face, and they're getting caught up in the small rhetoric, like Ye being not being able to express himself sometimes as clearly as he should, right? But no, that's the problem with some artists, right? Because some of the stuff he came back and apologized for, but just seeing what he's actually going through, you understand. But it's something that we preach and we say, you work with together. You work with your own people, you deal with your own people and build with that, you won't have that issue. But once you get in bed with certain individuals, that's a wrap. It's over. You know what I mean? And you see guys going through that on a regular basis, but they won't say nothing. Record labels, TV companies, athletes, you know what I'm saying? Like going through these particular contractual situations, and a lot of them be scared because they don't have the power and don't have nobody else backing them. And they just got to take it out of everything. And they're taking care of so much people. It's like, damn, if I mess this up, what my people going to do? Because you're going to have people looking at you like, what, you just got all that million? Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? And you ain't going to do what they tell you to do? And I applaud both of them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I applaud both of them, man. You know what I mean?
What about you, Mikey? What's your views on this, Mikey?
I mean, I don't like it. I don't like I like free speech. And don't get me wrong, I understand the perspective they're coming from, because like I said, their slogan on a past show, their slogan is what is it? We'll never forget.
Yes, never forget.
Never forget, right?
Yes.
So they're never going to forget what happened to them. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's their history, and they shouldn't forget. But on the same token, some of the stuff that they do is proving what some of these guys are saying. Is they saying like, all right, yeah, and it's just proving that they're true. I mean, I'm not saying as a people, but like some of the slogans, some of the things that's being said is just true, bro. I mean, and I don't like the fact that you're going to promote hatred in other people's communities, and they're making money off the destruction of our communities with these rappers and all this different stuff. They're making money off it every day. but then somebody say one thing about you or your people, but you can say anything else about everybody else people, and y'all ain't blackballing them for that. You see
Yo, it was crazy because you said
if
that.
you're gonna ban hate speech, ban all hate speech for everybody. Don't just ban it for you and make money off everybody else. All right, we don't care about what he say about anybody else, but if you say something about our people, then it's a problem. If you're gonna be with that for everybody. Don't just be with it for your people only. You know what I'm saying? Or your religion only, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't like. You know what I mean?
Well, and please forgive me, KK. I like both of you guys' perspective, and I'm gonna address this from a historical standpoint, right? From the standpoint of what they basically stated.
Yeah.
So are we not all from if you're looking at it from the perspective of the major religions of the world, right? And if you're looking from the perspective of Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and things of that nature, right?
Love what you just said.
If we're speaking about it from that perspective, when you look at I don't understand the term anti-Semitic. When you look up the term Semite, when you looking it up that terminology, that term is an Afro-Asiatic term. That term derives from an Afro-Asiatic land. Right. So now if the same way that America, and look at how America is considered to be a melting pot today of various diversities all over from all over the country. We're not even a 300-year-old society that we're so diverse today. But there was a time where the color of the people, we were darker, right? And it was, the original indigenous natives of the land, the aborigines of this land. Right. So if we're talking about the aborigines from Asia Minor and the Asiatic lands in Africa, what we know today as Africa, I think that science actually supports that, right? So to then now go and say that what they're saying from that standpoint, from the archaeological standpoint, from the anthropological standpoint, is inaccurate. It's now kind of, it's being disingenuous in this regard.
Yeah, yo, I love that you said that, because it's just showing that something that we people start to say, but they're not really getting it. That words are power, right? And not really understanding the words that they be using, and they'll actually weaponize it and turn it into something else.
Yo, I don't understand, right? And this is one thing that we went through on the inside, and people need to hear this, man. One thing about being inside a prison, it very rarely do you feel like you have a voice to speak out.
Yeah.
And what the authorities were experts at was turning your words that were innocuous, they were innocent, they were making them seem criminal when they weren't. And that's one thing that I noticed historically, unfortunately for our people in the diaspora, is that anything we say can easily be criminalized. And we're going to get to that, which is the main topic for tonight. As you guys saw the title, we're going to get to that. So this is, what we're leading up to. But I remember that I got written tickets for my poems in the box. I wrote poems, and they said my poems were gang related.
They took my whole book. They took a whole book I wrote. I wrote a book, bro. They took the whole book and said the book was gang related, bro.
So this is exactly my point,
nothing to
right?
do with gangs, bro.
This is exactly my point, that our expression of our experiences,
Red El Campo, salute.
Our expressions of our experiences have become criminalized. But other people's exploitation, plunder, murder, theft, etc., has become fathers of civilization, right? So I just think that depending on who's telling the story, who's quote unquote in power, who has the resources, the means of production, and things of that nature, their narrative is going to basically be propagated. And they're going to have a louder platform to speak from. So what I kind of look at all of this, and
it's crazy because I know.
Hold on, KK, I gotta say this. Hold on, real quick. And nothing to Yale, Kyrie, or Irvin. I kind of feel like we're living in a time right now where we cannot even express ourselves no more without quote unquote the fear of being ostracized, demonized, criminalized. We're going to be demonized by the system, where they're going to say these guys are on demon time. We're going to be criminalized because they're going to come up with laws that whenever we say something, they can lock us up. And we're going to be ostracized by not only the society itself, but our own community. Once we start being marginalized and they start pushing us further to the left, they're going to be like, you know what? Hey, you should have kept your mouth shut. And it's like, hold on, I'm speaking the truth. Even if my truth don't even matter no more. And the truth doesn't even matter no more. It's as long as you have a story that's being propagated and the people with the resources control that story and that narrative, then by all means, you either shut up or you keep your opinions to yourself. But I apologize. I defer to you, KK. Excuse me.
No, I understand exactly what you said. One of the things with in fact, both of them can be put into this like Ye and Kyrie. You can see that the people around them are influencing them, right? As far as them learning stuff. I mean, like they're getting information and starting to learn things, and what they're learning is actually empowering them, and they want to put it out there and share it. They just really don't have a full grasp on it. I've been noticed that like years ago with him, certain things that he started mentioning, even in his first trip to the White House, and it was some of the elders, I think some of the elders from Chicago or something was with him, but it was somebody that was mentioned that was there, and he had just blurted something out. So you can see that he was excited about getting some of the, the history of himself, knowledge of himself, in a sense, and then seeing it, and then now it's like I have this big, huge platform, all these followers and people looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And I can just say it. Like I ain't afraid to say it, and this is why I commend him. The only reason somebody had put it in the chat too is that sometimes it comes off emotional when he says it, even with Kyrie as well. Like you're going, instead of speaking about it in a politically correct way or saying it in a politically correct way. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes emotionally, is more emotionally based than anything.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And that's not, and again, no one, and I kind of feel like also that our experiences, like what Black people had to endure during our transatlantic slave trade, during our Holocaust, right? And I think that doesn't get spoken about enough as well. That listen, at the end of the day, this was an experience that our people had to endure. And you can't take that away. We're not going to allow you to allow anyone to forget that this was a reality that we had to endure. That's on one hand.
On whose mouths, slaves' mouths, bro. They had tools to put on your mouth. That's just crazy.
We divided, though. We are divided. We don't consolidate our money. So we're not going to be, and we're not represented as much in political arenas as they are. So our voices are going to be underheard. No matter how big a bag, we spend the most money in this country. We got the bag, we making money, we doing things, but we not using it correctly. We don't vote. Like my wife, they disenfranchise certain people from the system. My wife never voted. I'm home voting. She don't vote. You see what I'm saying? She said, hey, business, right? That's her business. But I'm just saying, because we get disenfranchised by the system, like our votes don't even count. So people like, I'm not even going to, but why I'm going to vote for, my vote don't even count. And when you think about Kanye and the whole thing that we see with them, brothers like Kanye speaking out, brothers like Kyrie, what they really saying is, nigga, shut up and go play basketball. Nigga, just shut up and dance. We don't hear no political. And I said nigga for a reason. I use that in that context for a reason. I don't even use that word like that, but when I do use it, that's a word that I don't want to use, but when I use it when I use it in my art, in my poetry, in my works, or when I explain certain things, I use it for a reason. I've even heard Donald Trump say that, like, we don't want to hear LeBron talk about political stuff. We want to see you play basketball. This is what it is, bro. And it's bad because we got voices and we got opinions and we got, we should all use our voices, but they don't care about that, bro. And they use stuff like this to silence people. They do this to silence people, bro, and that's bad. You know what I mean?
And shout out to the brother who just said what he said too, Mikey. And I love the fact that I'm Kung Fu Joe, you're right. Yes, that we responsible for were Africans responsible for selling other Africans to their European exploiters? Of course they were. Was everybody complicit in that horrific crime? No. But just like there were not a majority of white Jewish people who contributed to the slave trade, there was also a significant percentage of white Jewish individuals who funded the slave trade. That's facts. That's not anything that's beyond anybody. It was individuals with names like Levi and Lopez and things like that. Those was, you know, some Spanish Jews, and they were some European Jews. That's the reality of the situation. That's not some, oh well, what you say? No, it's the truth. Black people as well as white people. And it was so I think when we talk about our people, I think a lot of times we have to be honest a lot, to Mikey's point, that maybe we're not as united as we would like to think. Maybe it's not, maybe that's just dealing in adventurism and idealism. Like we just, in our minds, we want to all be united. But the truth is, Kung Fu Joe, maybe we're just not all united. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's the reality. Maybe we all have different agendas. And maybe, you know, that's just what it is. I mean, all right. So listen, let's move on. We got some other things I know we definitely need to talk about. And I kind of want to
hold on before we move on. Before we go, let me just tap in on this right here. Kung Fu Joe. He trolling, but this statement is like, you had.
Hey yo, bro, we could do a whole. We gonna have to do.
I know. We could do a whole. Let me just say something on this before we move on. Africans sold, you know, that's so small into what devastation that the Spanish, French, all these different European cultures did to the East, the New World, when they came over here. All right, let's not talk about the slaves they bust in, because they voted the slaves in. Let's forget those. From the bottom, South America, up, because that's how they came. They came from down up. They eradicated, you know how many millions of people, billions of people they killed? To have to bring in a whole nother stock of people? Y'all missing, that's what y'all missing. The Arawaks, the Tainos, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayas. I know my history. I know what they did. They had to bring in. They had to bring in more tougher stock of people. This is why the African was brought, because they killed the natives of these countries. They killed the natives of that were here in America. They killed the natives that were in South America. They killed the natives and they plundered and they killed them off. So that's that, bro. I want to just talk. So if you ain't know, that's why they bring them, because they killed all them all off. So if they
great point. I know that, Kung Fu Joe. And listen, Kung Fu Joe, you're not gonna take away the fact that some individuals were complicit in that. But to Mikey's point, so what does that have to do with the Europeans who came over here and who decimated the natives? Were there black people that were responsible for that too? Those were those not black bodies over here? If I'm not mistaken, those natives were kind of dark, man. I mean, Mikey,
Joe,
they was
pull
some
up a picture.
Some of them,
pull up
Mikey,
a picture after you do this. Pull up a picture of Geronimo. Geronimo is darker than all of us.
Yeah, I was about to say Geronimo and them was kind of darker than
Geronimo is darker than all of us.
So I mean, are we gonna say that Mikey's light skin and he don't categorize himself as being dark and black and I mean, just because he's lighter and KK's lighter, I mean, the reality is that there was some dark people who probably would have been categorized as black in this day. So I kind of think that argument is I'm not going to give you that. Now, usually I would say, you know what, you got that. But in this case, Kung Fu Joe, I don't agree with you on that. You know, because then we will be justifying the fact that because a few individuals might have been complicit in that. You got a lot of individuals that's doing that right now. Bro, like, you got individuals that's cooperators, cooperators, individuals who are agent provocateurs. They doing the same thing then that they were doing now. Same people. All right, let's move on for sake of brevity.
All right, let's get it, bro.
All right, let's get it. So, you know, you see today's topic is about recently we saw in the news, and Mikey, KK, you guys are aware of it, that 17 individuals from the Donald G. 183rd Blood Gang, also known as Donald G, have been indicted. Individuals from Atlanta all the way up to New York as well. One individual in particular according to the newspaper article in the newspaper reports. We're going to listen to all of this so you guys can have this information. One of them are currently locked up in Georgia. Another one is currently in Attica. We know the individual who is currently in Attica. All right. We go back with him. He's an individual who we've known for over 25 years. So the thing is this, right? And we're gonna get to, and what we're gonna do, not only speak about the past, where we can kind of bring it all the way up, but this is also a cautionary tale. So the reason that we're talking about this is because we're not glorifying any gang lifestyle. We're not glorifying any violence or anything like that. But what we're doing is we're going to speak about these issues as a cautionary tale, to use on Mikey's turn. We're going to use this as a way to kind of warn individuals who are not really aware of what's at stake here. We're going to discuss this because it's very, very important that the youth or individuals who are part of these groups understand what's at stake and what these individuals, local, state, and federal officials are doing. And it's an intentional, deliberate, and systematic attempt to lock individuals up forever. And if individuals don't know this, then we're going to kind of help you along the process of understanding this. We're going to show you various different gangs, how they've been attacking them over the last couple of years. We're going to, kind of bring you guys up to speed.
When was the COINTELPRO papers put out? 19 what?
That was in 1967.
67. All right.
Yeah, 67. So what we have here is and this is off of Wikipedia, and I want you. Excuse me.
No, I said salute wax AP. Go ahead.
And I wanted you guys to understand that what the counterintelligence program was. So briefly, I'm gonna just read it, and then we can kind of expound upon it for individuals who don't have knowledge of it. But if you want knowledge of this information yourself, I would advise you to do your own independent research. Go to Wikipedia, then kind of go from there and go into various directions. But COINTELPRO is also known as the counterintelligence program, and it was a series of covert and illegal projects actively conducted in the United States by the FBI, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting domestic American political organizations. Now, briefly, many of the gangs today stemmed from those political organizations. When the FBI destroyed them with this particular covert project known as COINTELPRO, there was a vacuum that grew out as a result of that, right? And that vacuum created the gangs that they then funneled with guns and drugs. But that's another story. FBI records show COINTELPRO resources targeted groups and individuals the FBI deemed subversive, including feminist organizations, the Communist Party USA, anti-Vietnam War organizers, activists of the Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power movement, like Martin Luther King Jr., the Nation of Islam, and the Black Panther Party, environmentalists and animal rights organizations, the American Indian Movement, Chicano and Mexican American groups like the Brown Beret and the United Farm Workers, independence movements, including the Puerto Rican independence groups such as the Young Lords and the Puerto Rican Socialist Party, a variety of organizations that were part of the broader New Left, and white supremacist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and the far-right group National States' Rights Party. So I'm not going to go into the whole litany of what that entailed, but what I will say is that the counterintelligence program itself led to the incarceration of many of those Black leaders of that era, of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It also led to the deaths and assassinations of many of those particular leaders. Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers are just a number of those individuals whose lives were snuffed out. And when they destroyed those political organizations like the Congress of Racial Equality, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SNCC with the Students Nonviolent Coordinated Committee, and among the Black Panther Party and among other groups, it created a vacuum, right? So a lot of times individuals are looking at these groups that were in these communities, and because they were destroyed, a lot of individuals felt like the best way to go back and kind of reorganize themselves was to go back to the communities and try to reorganize the youth who were young enough to kind of like be energetic to kind of fight back against the system, so to speak. So the original concept of many of these original gangs were created out of the vacuum of these political organizations. So I just kind of want to put things in a historical context so we'll understand that the counterintelligence program is no longer going by that particular name, but it's being used under different pseudonyms, and we can still kind of see the same thing happening today. Now, you can speak. No, go ahead. You can speak.
Kung Fu Joe just made a statement, and we understand that there's a big difference, but we wanted to the reason we're actually showing you is how this actually came about. Because if you look at it and really study history, you'll see how it actually came about. So that's why I asked him when he had posted it, like what year it was. I knew it was in the 60s. I forgot what year. So this was has been implemented since 1967 and was praised by other chairman of the feds, everybody, for what was actually done. Not only that, other organizations that was coming up, one of them directly being Stone. I had to mention that with the Black Peace Stone, who was a regular street organization, but they were trying to get organized and really help people and actually working directly with Black Panther Party. And one of the things that was done was proven, is documented and was showed, was that they created beef. They actually wrote fake letters, antagonized people, and created a beef between the two organizations so they wouldn't join. But the only difference is both of these brothers were smart enough to actually see something was wrong, and it didn't come to no violence. But one of the things that did happen was they didn't unify. They didn't come together. There was always some level of skepticism there. So I'm just saying, now, this being done back then during that particular time, how much more sophisticated and stuff that they are. So we talking about emails, scams, people that you may think is down with you, people that whatever, and be promoting something totally different.
That's right. Talk about it.
Mostly stand for.
Talk about
it. And even though it may not go as far as violent acts, whatever, but the main thing was not having us unify as a people. And discrediting us and destroying our organization. And that's what was actually done. And it just got worse. And it just got, as time went on, it just got worse because some of the values that was held on to, it gets blurred from all of the stuff that's going on around you. You get bombarded with so much stuff in media, publication, like they say in the information age. They just put so much stuff in front of you now. It's like you can't really even focus on what's real and what's not.
Well, the real concept of Blacks organizing themselves to protect their communities, it grew in the aftermath of the Civil War. So what happened was in 1865, after the Civil War took effect, if you notice, and anybody can look this up if you guys want to learn about what's known as the Radical Reconstruction. So the Republicans that we are, or the Reconstruction period that was initiated by the Radical Republicans. But for anybody that wants to know about this part of history, it's important, so you can kind of look it up on your own. But the Republican Party that we kind of know today was not the Republican Party that was of that era. And the Democrats that we know today is not the same political party that existed back then. So that we could put kind of some historical context into play. The original Blacks that were organizing themselves were trying to protect themselves against armed rebellious groups that grew out of the Civil War, which was the Ku Klux Klan. So this was individuals themselves who either were in the Civil War, and individuals who were not in the Civil War, but who were willing to kind of protect their families and their communities, because now they've been given a lot of land. They've been given a little bit of land and stuff like that. So they wanted to protect it, right? So in order to be able to protect it from outside marauder gangs, they had to organize themselves. So Black men used to go outside in the communities and to walk around to protect themselves against individuals, white mobs who was coming to lynch Blacks, or who was also coming to burn down their houses. It was crazy back then. So that's the original concept of Blacks protecting their community in America, so to speak, right? Especially in that, let me use the context of in the antebellum South, or in the postbellum South after the Civil War, all right? And that those individuals kind of taught their children, their offspring, who then began to move out and migrate to cities like California and things like that. So a lot of individuals who, like Bunchy Carter and all them, or individuals like Stokely Carmichael, or these individuals like Geronimo Pratt, many of them came from Louisiana, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale. A lot of them came from the South. So they already had the concept of how to protect the community. So when they formed their political organizations, they did so with the expectation that they would be protecting their community from the white establishment, right? So what grew out of that, once those groups were destroyed and many of those individuals had to go to the underground, leaving the country, fighting the police in the streets and things like that, these individuals themselves kind of disappeared. So there was a time, we know our culture and our history, that there was a lot of Black leaders in our communities, right? There were a lot. When you saw black men, when you saw black and brown bodies, these were strong black men who you knew what they stood for. These individuals were not to be messed with. These individuals taught values, and they taught those things that were most important. And one of those things that was important was the protection of our community. They taught you who the enemy was, what their purpose was, which was to come into our community, try to destroy it, to try to divide us, and things of that nature. So this was already new, this known. This wasn't something that was secretive. Those groups that the youth, because they didn't have those elders at the time, kind of rose up without the elders to kind of give them the guidance of what this lifestyle was about. So they started off doing good, but then they deviated across time. But that's another conversation. What we want to get focused on is that these same governmental policies still exist. These same policies still exist. And how do we know that? Is because I'm going to show you guys an article. This year alone, since the summertime alone, the local, state, and federal governments have targeted street organizations as well as prison organizations, which has led to over 6,000 arrests in the United States of America. 6,000 arrests of individuals who are affiliated or associated with gangs. One in particular, as you guys will see, I'm gonna stop sharing this and give you some more backdrop. Are what we just stated, individuals who are part of the set known as Donald G or 183rd and things of that nature. And again, the reason that we're highlighting this information is to show you that, listen, as a cautionary tale, if this is a lifestyle that you want to live, if this is what you want to be a part of, well, let me go to that first. That's probably more, it probably makes sense to share this first. This article is what I just made reference to. And as you guys see, it says, this is coming from the United States Department of Justice. This is information that you can get. All you have to do is put this into Google. All you have to do is just, if you want to look for all this information, is readily available. As of Tuesday, September 13th of 2022, the FBI and law enforcement partners newly arrested nearly 6,000 violent criminals this summer. FBI Director Christopher Wray announced today in a video message the results of joint violent crime enforcement efforts throughout the summer, recognizing the essential cooperation of local and state law enforcement agencies around the country. Between May 1st and September 2nd, 2022, the FBI and local, state, and law enforcement partners arrested nearly 6,000 alleged violent criminals and gang members and seized more than 2,700 firearms connected to criminal conduct. Throughout the summer, the FBI and its partners also disrupted nearly 845 and dismantled 105 violent gangs and criminal enterprises and seized large quantities of fentanyl and other deadly narcotics. So I'm gonna stop sharing here and then go to the other article that is the basis of our title, and then we can kind of build on it from there. And then I will give you some other clarity regarding the comparison between these other groups as well, so you can see that there's a pattern between what the ultimate objective is. All right. So state leaders announced indictment of 17 alleged members. All right. So this is what's going on right now. All right. You guys can hear this? Hold on.
Little Theo's nose had cause for alarm.
Hold on.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Tissues were causing it harm. They left his nose.
This is how they lead us with these ads. They get us. Real quick, y'all. I want to be able to show this, Mikey. I don't have the joint without the ad. Do I still show the ad?
Nah, you ain't gotta show it. I mean, you can, but you ain't gotta
All
show
right,
it.
so forget it. We'll just expound upon it then. So this is the deal. So recently, get to it. Go ahead,
let it go through the ad and then play it. Just mute it on the ad. Just mute it on the ad. After the ad, just play it. Just mute it.
Okay, so recently there was an indictment that was handed down by the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia basically their primary aim, the state attorney general, along with the governor of the state. So it just goes to show you that state and local officials, they collaborated their efforts and they joined they have a task force, a state task force. Hold on, I'm gonna let you guys listen.
Have announced the indictments of 17 alleged gang members for crimes all over Georgia.
Yeah, Barrow County grand jury indicted the defendants last week for crimes in 10 different counties. Fox 5's Claire Sims joins us live from the state capitol. And Claire, these crimes date back more than 3 years.
Yeah, the indictment lays out more than 100 alleged counts from January of 2019 to October, just last month.
I'm proud to announce that our gang prosecution unit has indicted 17 alleged members of the 1-8 Trey Gangster Bloods in Barrow County.
Surrounded by law enforcement from all over the state, Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr says a grand jury has indicted more than a dozen people allegedly involved in gang activity in 10 Georgia counties, including Athens Clarke, Barrow, Chattooga, Fulton, and Gwinnett. The indictments come as part of Operation Dawnfall, an investigation by the GBI's Gang Task Force and the Georgia Department of Corrections. The indictment names 17 people alleged to be members of the gang 18 Trey Gangster Bloods and accuses them of everything from drug sales to murder. 2 of them linked to this June 2020 arson in Lawrence County. But Carr says one of their most egregious crimes has been recruiting young children by holding seemingly family-friendly events.
They host basketball tournaments and barbecues. They do these types of things for one purpose: to recruit our young people into a life of crime and violence.
Governor Brian Kemp says that was one of the reasons Georgia educators pushed him to reopen schools in a meeting at the state capitol during the pandemic.
Because instead of us recruiting them to be on the ball field or in the band, they're getting recruited by street gangs because they're not at school, they're not around the people they need to be around, and they are getting targeted. And they were specifically saying 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. And that's why we're here today. Thank you all very much.
Coming up, the indictment says that some of those gang members also used music videos as a recruitment tool and something to promote the organization. I'll have that part of the story coming up all new on Fox 5 News at 6.
Okay, so just for the record, everybody that's tuned in to We Locked In, anytime we show this is for clarification purposes regarding helping
Fair
us.
use.
Huh?
No, I just said fair use.
Oh, okay. So, this is just for fair use. So this is public information. So this is not something that we're concocting here. And this is information that we also have to take with a grain of salt as well. These are allegations. Nothing has been proven. We don't know if anything that has been stated is true. We're not here to kind of speak to the veracity or the mendacity of any of this information. We're just kind of here to put it into context. All right. It's fair use. It's information that anybody can utilize. Now, with that being the case, however, we went back to the counterintelligence, now back to where we started from at the counterintelligence program. This is just us trying to prove and show to you guys that these agencies, state, local, federal, are still operating in the capacity to be able to shut down these groups. Whether or not you agree with their methods, whether or not you disagree with their strategies, their tactics, individuals who are a part of these groups, you have to realize, and even if you're not a part of these groups, you have to realize that these agencies exist for a reason. They have anti-gang units, not only on the local, state, and federal level, but they also have these groups inside the penitentiary as well. So if individuals think that somehow they are involved in these quote-unquote groups and that they're getting away with stuff, more than likely they have individuals who have perhaps already infiltrated these groups. You have to imagine that because these higher political organizations in the past were able to fall at the level that they were, and nothing has really stood since then. You have to also imagine that even today they're going to still utilize these tactics to try to destroy these groups. That is a fact. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. I know you guys have a lot to say about this. I want to pass it to Mikey, KK. What's your views on this, comrades? What's up?
Go ahead, KK.
Yeah, it's just so much. I just love how just the historical perspective that was put in, so they can actually see, man. Because one of the things that's prevalent in the expansion of gangs and why dudes are being recruited is that same sense of wanting to be organized, that same sense of just wanting to be a part of something, and that's where the root of it comes from. So now, when you have that and you want to be with something or join something or have something with some type of structure, no matter what type of structure it is, right? You get bombarded with everything else that's around you as far as what's going on in society right now, what you're getting hit with all the time. Violence and booty shaking. That's just, you see it everywhere all the time. So it's just like, all right, this is the thing that gets promoted. So when comments is made from entertainers talking about, oh yeah, media is ran by this or media is ran by that, and then we see it and we see the direct effects of it, we kind of ignore it and try to say, oh, who's to blame, but not really looking at the conditions that we've been under for the longest. And just the actual track record, just how you can see things spiraling. You see the actual pattern. Like it's just spiraling. And then even with the migration from the South, now it's like it's going in reverse now. Now it's like they calling it what's that, the remigration or another word, whereas their people are coming back now to the South. They're starting to leave these areas back to the South.
They call it a remigration. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, that's a fact.
Coming back to the South to actually. And what's happening is you're coming back to start trying to build and come back together. But we also have to understand it's gonna take a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of hardships and sacrifice with it. Even with the thing with COINTELPRO, like, bro, I remember when that information came out, right? Not came out, but because we wasn't around when it came out. But when we got hip to it, you know what I'm saying? When we got hip to it, and we shared that with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but we started knowing like certain things you should not be doing. You know what I'm saying? You should not be falling victim to, because it's like identifying your enemy. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a target on your back, if you were already trying to destroy regular people. I mean, you're talking about people that's not even committing crimes, right? And black folks is not committing no crime or whatever, right? And it may be something against them because they may speak the truth, or therefore their people come out. So now when you do have that, that's just a whole extra target on your back. And then on top of that, you're adding to it by promoting it on social media. You just basically just falling right into it, you're just giving yourself to it.
And we have to imagine that. So the first thing that they're doing right now, they have social media. They have a social media. All of the states, as well as the federal agency and local agencies, they have, and you have to imagine that this is the case, they have social media police, individuals who monitor these channels. They want to listen, they want to hear the content, they want to hear what's going on. And they want to get an idea of what's actually the pulse of the people, so to speak. So when they see the youth out there engaged in destructive tendencies, where they're actually promoting it, they've actually helped them solve their cases already. Somebody put in the chat the situation with Dizzy. And we know, Dizzy right now was in ADX in Colorado. So we have to imagine that because of what he was convicted of when he was in North Carolina, and he was considered to be at the top of that particular group, that they would basically be watching that group with scrutiny. So anything that's happening, phone conversations, letters, emails, texts, anything that
question real quick. Somebody, I don't know if it was Kung Fu Joe, somebody had just asked a serious question of what we were just saying, right? Oh, there you go, right there. So as law-abiding black folk, are we supporting these gang criminal activities, or are we against it? And like, we are against activities of it, but right, the thing is, you have to understand what your people are going through. And a lot of these gang dudes, these dudes, a lot of them be children. So if we don't know how to address it or help them, then we say that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people will stay away from it. But that's just like me. When I was banging, and there was rules and regulations, right, that I had to follow, and I followed them like to the best of that thing. I was serious about it, so serious, right, that when my mother found out, right, she not with me doing anything wrong, she found out, boy, I don't know. But when I told her, like, where it stemmed from, our rules and that, she was impressed. I mean, and then she seen how I was, like, because I really was with fighting against oppression. I really, you know what I'm saying, wanted to do something for my people. I like, you promote no drug usage, no, like, studying your history. It was things like that that I actually shared, and she held me to that standard, right? To that particular standard. So it's like, you see young folks want to be a part of something, they want to be involved with something, like, nah, give them something else to be a part of, show them something different. And
well,
I just had a conversation
to Kung Fu Joe's point, criminal activities are I mean, Islamically, they're haram. They're destructive behaviors. So not for anything. And I'm gonna get to Siraj Wahaj. That is the imam of so to answer your question, Kung Fu Joe, the Siraj imam Siraj is the imam of Masjid Taqwa. I'm very familiar. That's another conversation. But so the issue of criminal activities is haram. But more importantly, it's also you having a knowledge and awareness that this behavior could ultimately lead to young black and brown bodies being hoarded away and spent in someone's prison somewhere, or perhaps worse, they basically lose their lives senselessly. So you want to be able to give them the knowledge, and you want to be able to do so in a manner where in which you don't offend them, but you're doing it in a way in which they respect you. You're credible, you're reliable, you're believable. You're doing it in a manner where they can relate because you've been there. You know what criminal activities and destructive behavior can lead to. So you're only using your experiences and your personal issues to kind of help them on their respective journey.
Exactly.
And you say, listen, these are consequences associated with this behavior, and this is why we're having these conversations. And we're saying, listen, as long as you continue to engage in this behavior, you do know that there are consequences. That when you move your piece on that board, if you just moving it haphazardly, and you going at those individuals who we just saw in the news who are up and ready, that there's going to be some consequences. They're going to come for you. And if you're ready for that, then nobody can tell you how to live your life. And I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. And Mikey B or KK is not going to tell you how to live your life. What we're going to do is we're going to let you know that there are other viable options for you to succeed at. And the likelihood of you succeeding at what you're involved in now are probably slim to none. So that's the best advice that I would do to encourage individuals. But pardon me, KK.
And no, you're good, bro. And one of the things that just made me think about, like, you have social sciences, and one of the things that our ancestors used to say was like, you cut programs, you like welfare programs, you something, you know people are gonna commit crime. You create a certain environment or promote certain things, you know you're gonna like that's a known thing. You know what I'm saying? You have people that actually study this. So if you're in a poor neighborhood where you say education or the school systems is bad, there's not real good civic programs or good social programs in the thing, young people are gonna actually resort to doing whatever's going on around them. And that's just a regular occurrence of things. And we get focused on the most, and we're not even the people that commit the most crime, but it's just that we get put out the most. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the people say, yo, we the minority in here. Yeah, but we get targeted the most.
Mikey, what's up, Mike? I know you want to say some partners, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, no, that's all good. It's all good, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. Most of these big gang indictments, I read them. I seen them. We in the law library. We reading them. You can Google it. I mean, not in the law library. You can search it on the law library, new cases, and you can read the whole case when it's brand new. And let me tell you something. These cases are all the way trumped up. They are giving dudes 10 and 20 years.
Talk about it.
For the sale of one gun. Making, in the 80s, dudes had millions.
Talk about it.
These dudes, these cases, bro, these dudes sold one gun, maybe an ounce of crack over here or something.
Facts. Talk about it.
Maybe a cutting over here. And I'm not saying if people getting murdered, then the time goes up. That's something different. But some of these cases, like in that, let me tell you something. In that case, if they had murders in that case, if they had 1A Trey committing 8 murders, that would have been a part of the heading of that title. So I know in that case, there's probably no murders, right? So you got guys in prison because they said the Georgia Department of Correction. We know MK's in prison in New York State, and they probably got some guys down there in Georgia prison and a few guys from the community, and they trumping these cases up, and they give
no question about that.
20 and 30 years for nothing.
No
bro.
question about
that.
I
seen these cases, bro. These cases are so trumped up.
No question.
These cases are so trumped up. They're using the gang name that they already, promoted in America, and they just doing anything they want with people's freedom, bro. And that's what I don't agree with. All right.
No question.
I did a crime. I did my time. All right. You're doing crimes. You got to do the time. But let the time add up to exactly what's going on. Don't put together this big conspiracy and throw people away for 20 and 30 years for some nonsense.
You see, and that's Mikey, man. You and KK, y'all right on point with this, man. That is so true. Because when you look at what happened to La Brim, right? La Brim didn't have one murder in his case, and he got 30 years. I mean, and I understand that. I think it comes with the over prosecution of the fact of what the Attorney General's office and what they're doing and stuff like that, it becomes to the point where it's over prosecuting these young black and brown bodies because somebody put it in the chat, because you're being guilty by association. A lot of individuals is all not involved in all of this murder mayhem. Is lit everywhere. It's crazy like that. Don't get me wrong. There's some spots it's turned up. It's crazy what you step into.
This is what
I'm. But the way that can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear y'all.
Oh, yeah. The way that they're applying it, I totally agree with you 110%, bro, that they are over prosecuting a lot of these cases. But I think the much bigger picture is that the bigger point is that they want to send a message to individuals to let individuals know, listen, if you want to play games with this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to mistreat y'all. And more times than not, individuals are going there. They don't have the resources to defend themselves. So that the money that they got that they thought they had, if they did have any little bit of money, they don't have it when you step into the feds, right? You don't have it for the legal representation. Not only that, a lot of individuals stepping in there do not have the intellect to be able to defend themselves in the law library, because the law to them is a foreign language and they're not trying to learn the intricacies of it. So individuals are not even fighting their cases on that level. You dig what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of individual black and brown bodies being hoarded away into these institutions, and they're going to spend the next 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, and sometimes even longer up in there.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, that's my whole position on that. All right. You know, when you down, like, when you down with these gangs, you know, you're going to get what you know what it is. You know what you're signing up for, and you know what's coming with that. You know what I'm saying? Time, jail time, and murder. The destruction of yourself and your peoples. This is what is coming with that. So if that's what you want to play, that's what's going to happen. When I left prison and when I left the gang stuff, I just said I don't want to destroy my people. I want to destroy myself, and I don't want nobody using me for a get out of jail free card. And once you coming under these certain names and certain things, it's going to be easy to prosecute you. They're going to make up a conspiracy, put a few things together, get a couple of CIs, a few people telling, and you going to jail. They're not playing.
And you done.
They're
going to finish you off.
They're going to finish you for some meatball stuff. I seen a big case, bro. And these dudes got 2 years, some got 10, and they had jail cuttings in there.
Yeah,
no murder. There was no murder. They had jail cuttings, a couple of guns being sold. And see, that's the thing with these RICO cases. Make sure y'all kids know this. You have to commit 2 crimes in conspiracy with others. It has to be more than 1 crime. And it has to be the crimes that are established in that law to be eligible to even make a RICO case. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So understand that as well, bro. So understand what y'all getting yourself into, because you saying, yo, I might be doing this and that, and this can only get me a couple of years.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. I remember one of the times.
Hold on, let me get this point out, KK. You can go. Yeah. So you might say, all right, I'm only, selling this little work and getting my money. So, I ain't with all the other stuff that these dudes is doing, even though I'm in the same gang. They're not looking at it like that. They're going to put the little drugs that you might be selling, the guns he sold, the shooting he did. They're going to put all y'all together. They're going to make that into a thing. They're going to put y'all out there. And they're going to say, all right, we got 30 dudes from Brooklyn. And now y'all all getting 30 years.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Horrible, bro. Go ahead, KK.
No, it's crazy. It just made me think about something we had mentioned before a while back when we were talking about one of the cases where you investigate, because, a lot of the dudes be young and be teenagers and they be young. So you be investigating this stuff for years. You know what I'm saying? Because this is 2019.
3 years. They was investigating for 3 years.
Stuff for years. Watching 3 years. That's the thing that just waiting for something then to mess up so we can get it.
Hey, yo, and another thing is, we are so stupid. We are so dumb. And I say we, because I was a part of that. I can't alleviate, my contributions to the gang culture. I was a part of that for a long time. A lot of people looked up to me, and a lot of people knew me just for being in the gang. But we are so stupid. We are so dumb. We get on TV and on internet, and we got our flags on, we got our set, hashtagging our set, we saluting all our bros or sisters or whatever on the internet. We are so stupid. We are like the dumbest people ever, bro. We in
I
a
agree.
box. We in a box. I was in upstate box. We get in the box, salute, say our set, say our name, say why we banging, say how long we
your
banging.
camera recorded.
Upstate, everything is recorded.
Everything recorded.
Everything is recorded, bro. You get up every day, you salute, you see you using codes, you using your lingo. You might tell us stories of who's getting hit around the state. You get on the camera and you talk about who you in contact with. Yo, I just got a kite from such and such. He sends everybody love.
That's why they used to get mad at
everything is recorded.
Yeah, and that's why I just put these two last articles up. One was about the sentencing of Labrim when he got sentenced to all that time. But then this one right now was just recently, as of Monday, October 24th, for what took place with some of the Mac ballers, and them snatching individuals up left and right. And why are we putting this information up there for you guys to see? And again, it's a cautionary tale. If individuals are a part of that lifestyle, then you have to understand that there are serious consequences that come with it. Quite frankly, I think that, I'm not going to tell a young man or anybody what they should and what they shouldn't be doing. But I will tell you this, though. If you think that you're going to basically live the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life being a successful criminal without going to prison, or if you think you're going to be a part of a group that will not result in you being a part of someone's indictment, are probably slim to none, especially if your name is making noise. And most of these groups, or your group is making noise. And most of these groups that we're highlighting here, in this case, what you guys see with the Donald G's or the Mac Ballers, the Hounds, the Billies, the Trey gang, whatever, and even the Rolling 60s out there in Jersey, and the Bounty Hunters out there in Jersey, whatever's going on with these groups, understand that there are other entities who are studying you guys, who their prime objective is to gain as much information as they possibly can on you. Yeah. To KK's point, they'll be watching you for 4 to 5 years without you even knowing it.
This is the crazy thing, though. Look, a lot of these guys in their cases, they told on themselves on the phone. A lot of these cases, right?
Of course.
They told themselves on the phone. We hear the phone. They come to YouTube. They on social media. We hear about it. We talk about it. Right? Right?
Absolutely.
Then guess what? Paperwork party. You come with the paperwork. Yo, I got the paperwork. Son told on me. You get up here and tell on yourself every day on the internet. You telling on everybody every day. You telling on yourself every day. We did it. Roll call. We used to do roll call, right? 130, 130, 130, 130, right? 2400, 2400. You know what I'm saying? 2400. At 11 o'clock every single night on Rikers Island in the Bing. 11 o'clock on the dot every single night. Who you be, what set you rep, why you bang. Every night. You heard? If we were late at 11 o'clock, if we were late, right? The COs. Yo, y'all slipping. What's up with the homies? It's 11 o'clock. Y'all ain't roll calling yet? Yo, what's up? Because we giving them all the information about everything. Back in the days, we didn't tell our sets when we came into houses, and we weren't going to certain places like these guys do now. We didn't tell the police directly that we banged or anything, but they knew because we roll called in front of them on camera every single night. Every day we said our names. They knew our sets. Right or wrong, though? Am I lying about this, KK? Is this not fact? Is this not truth?
No, it's the certifiable truth. I mean, I think we may have been
paperwork though.
But I think we may have
everybody told on us.
I think we were just young and inexperienced, and we didn't have. I mean, we thought that what we were doing at the time was cool. But in retrospect, now looking back, you realize that we obviously, we all obviously, man, they knew everybody's names. They knew who everybody was, and they knew what your politics, your political stand was. If you was an individual who was anti-establishment, if you was somebody who was just about getting some money, if you was on some gangster time, they knew exactly what type of politics you was promoting because everything was kind of like out there to the open. And I think that, when you kind of put everything in its context, we contributed to a lot of this destructive behavior. And that's why I said yesterday, or the other day in this case, you have to be willing to accept responsibilities for your contribution to this destructive lifestyle.
We know what we forgot. Hold on. You see what Rasta Foundation, rise up, Birchin. Yo, check it out. This is another thing. Innocent people get caught in gang indictments. They throw people indictments that you don't even know, and dudes are snitching on each other. They got dudes. Yo, listen, I know a few indictments that had dudes in the indictments that don't even know each other.
I see Floss Vegas. I see Floss Vegas is in the building.
Yo, what's up, Floss, man? Yo, pull up, man. Where you at?
Shout it out to everybody that's there, man. Out there that's tuned in. I mean, look at Casanova here, right? You know, our brother, young black brother, who you know, for all intents and purposes, he did his time. He did a couple of bids, right? He went home. He had talent. He was able to use his platform to kind of like help out those individuals who were not as fortunate as he was. And this is something that I noticed that we do as well, and we have to be very mindful of that. We should always be thinking about empowering our people without emasculating them. And what I mean by that is that if you got somebody that's in a position that's able to uplift the community, then he should be kind of protected from all of the senselessness. He shouldn't be associated with the buffoonery. And now we have another black man who can no longer contribute to his family. And I think that's the most destructive part of that, is that we help contribute to a destructive, or we help make a black family more dysfunctional than it probably already was. You know what I'm saying? He's in the position, he's doing his thing. Then let this individual make his investments in his music. Let this individual use his platform to help empower individuals from one state to the next. And I mean, when we associate any of the senselessness with it, it's always going to put ourselves in a position where we become a direct threat. The establishment is going to come down on individuals, and the next thing you know, individuals are sitting in the feds. And I think Cass was sentenced to 17 years or something like that.
Oh, they sentenced him already?
Yeah, he got sentenced to like 17 years or something like that.
I didn't even know he got sentenced.
Yeah, he got sentenced, I think, man. And the sad thing about that is that I just really hate the fact that, you know, we don't learn from our mistakes. And I think going back to you, KK, and Mikey, is that, you know, here it is. We were at one time in our lives, we was wild, we was crazy, we was doing this, we was doing that, but a light bulb clicked in at some point, right? But we can't look at the youth of today and say, or expect these individuals somehow to, you know, their light's not going to click off right now. They 18, 19 years old, caught up. So to Rasta Foundation's point, yeah, it might take a lot of young black and brown innocent bodies to basically go away and then realize, listen, man, you know what, I need to get my life together. But for some individuals, unfortunately, it might even be too late for them. And I think that
Marley, my bro Marley, they caught a case. Yo, Marley, salute, bro. He caught a case. Thank you, baby. He caught a case, the married life. But he caught a case, you know what I'm saying?
He's not sentenced, YouTube Crips. I thought he was sentenced. Hold on, let me look it up.
I thought he didn't get sentenced yet. Thank you, baby.
Hold on, let me look it up. He's facing 17 years or 60 years. Thank you for YouTube Crips. Thank you for correcting me, my brother. I
kind of thought he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah. Thank you for that. Please, thank you for that, for holding me to account. Thank you.
Yo, it's crazy because Marley, right here, my bro. You know, that's one of my OGs right there.
LES talk 16 away from 1K. Support him.
Yeah. You see that, right? Make sure y'all go True LES Talk, man. He needs 16 subs, man, to get a K. Let's help to promote. Let's help go True LES Talk TV, yo. Go tap in with him. Even if y'all gotta leave, come right back. Subscribe to his channel, man. He only needs 16 to hit 1K. WeLockedN gonna help him. Let's help him, y'all. Help him out. Good brothers. Always got good content. But my bro right here, Marley, he had a case. You know, we was in Albany getting money. He caught a case when he was in Albany. I left. He caught a case. And it was a conspiracy case. They put a dude from he was cool with us, but he was from our block and he wasn't messing with us. Named Sham in his case. They just threw a dude in his conspiracy case. You heard? Okay. Yo, they be doing that, bro.
Yo, that's my point. You and I think Kung Fu.
One point before you go, Mo.
Yeah, pardon me, bro.
And then on Rikers Island, even before I turned Ola, they were saying I was Ola. You heard?
Yeah.
They were saying I was blood before I even turned blood. So you got
you remember if anything happened, like say something go down in the jail, right? It's the same concept. You ain't got nothing to do with it. But they just know you or your name, whatever, you got nothing to do with something happen, it just comes snatch you up, you throw you all in it, you going down to.
Not
prison, they be like blatant with it.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody in the chat that corrected me. Blue Scunnets, YouTube Crips, Mike Velez, Mikey B, everybody that corrected me, man. Yeah, you guys are right. I apologize. I think his co-defendant was sentenced to 20 years. One of his co-defendants. But yeah, you guys are right. He was not sentenced. He's definitely facing time. So please, I stand to be corrected. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, TLES got the link in the chat. Y'all hit that link. Go follow him real quick. Go follow that brother. Get him to 1K, yo. We trying to get money, he's trying to get monetized. Let's get right. Let's do this. But yeah, bro, that's all I wanted to say as far as a lot of dudes, even in some of the early indictments that were happening in Harlem, some of the first big indictments they were saying was Bloods in the Bronx, they wasn't even gang. They wasn't even gang affiliated. In a lot of these cases, they're saying these dudes is blood. They just throwing other dudes in there to make it look like or something, and they wasn't even in the gang.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Detroit Siggy is. Who's that? Show your face.
I'm not sure, but I mean, if he's coming up here to build, man, you got to show your face when you coming in the building.
You got to show your face, bro. They be pulling bobbing. All right, I see you, bro. Come on.
Free Stony.
Yo, what's up?
What's good, bro?
All right, how you doing, bro?
Yo, what's going on?
Bro, all Casanova did was indict himself, bro.
I didn't hear you, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
My bad, bro. I'm in a bad area at the crib.
Nah, don't worry about it.
All right, guys, go ahead, talk about it, bro.
Now, what were you saying?
I don't think you hear us. It's messing up.
Yeah, nah. All right.
Go ahead, bro, but go ahead. Finish it till you get it right and we get him back.
Yeah, we'll get him back in. And anybody else is welcome to come in, man, to add on to what we're talking about.
Yeah, y'all want to
very important. Yo, Floss Vegas, man. Why Floss ain't pull up, man? Come on.
Yeah, why Floss ain't pull up? Floss, where you at, bro?
I see him in there. I see him. Shout it out to Floss Vegas, man, that pulled up, man. Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home, bro. Congratulations on your freedom, bro.
So I think it's important that we, kind of put things into perspective. So I'm trying to find an article on Rod Diggs. I had the article. They gave Rod Diggs 12 life sentences. And not to invalidate, what he was a part of or whatever the case may be like that, but they treated Rod Diggs like, he was literally a freaking mob boss. I mean, you got individuals from the Gambinos, the Columbos.
That's what that was originally made for, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they literally gave Rod Diggs time.
That's what that was made for, because they was getting around all those cases.
Like his name was John Guy.
On that Rico thing, baby. You heard, bro?
What'd you say?
Some background on the Rico thing.
On Rico, it was made for the mob.
Yeah, it really was started to find a way to get.
Yeah. So and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So yeah, the Rico law was originally designed to help target individuals who were a part of criminal enterprises, individuals who were engaged in some type of racketeering that would generate like millions and millions of dollars. These is individuals who were big time. I mean, we talk about, Vincent the Chen Gigante and individuals like, Al Capone and those type of individuals. When you think about, gangsters who are controlling massive millions and millions of dollars and are involved in all type of political espionage.
They couldn't get Gotti. That was one of the major.
That's the whole thing. They couldn't get them, so they needed something to get these dudes, you heard?
Yeah, we talking about something that's totally different. And I think it's unfair to even categorize individuals of that nature to say that somebody who might have cut a dude in the yard and he got on the phone and he talked about something that's taking place in another state like Georgia, that you're going to put him a part of a statewide conspiracy, like he's involved in some crazy stuff. And I'm like, nah, it ain't to that point like that. It ain't on that level. It really ain't on that level like that. And that's what's what the impression is, when the reality is just not like that. Individuals are literally not on that level. Not on that level at all.
Labeling of domestic terrorism, they starting to try to put it into that particular thing, which is like and crazy. So it just shows, like it shows you the objective, man. Oh, it just shows.
Yeah. Nah, the objective remains the same. So this is why I think, as a cautionary tale, individuals should be aware of that. Like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. Like, if you get yourself caught up in this nonsense, that you're gonna have co-defendants you don't know nothing about. And you're gonna have to spend a lot. Nobody wants to be in prison. I know I don't want to be sitting in nobody's prison no more. Them days is over. Hold on. Let me try to share this real quick. I don't know if I'm able to. Man, they hating on the kid. You guys are seeing the wrong thing. I wanted to show the article that they had about our brother, but in any case, free all the brothers that's jammed up, and the sisters that's jammed up in these indictments.
Yo, True LES only needs 7 more subscribers, y'all. Go ahead, go over there. True LES Talk, man. Y'all see this, man? Go subscribe to him real quick. He only needs 7 more subscribers.
It's 100. Yeah. Nah. Yo, Kung Fu Joe, you said that he was oppressing the residents of the Gwanda's projects, all right? And that's up for debate. That's up for debate. Some people would say that he was your urban Robin Hood, so to speak, right? I know Rod to be a very good individual.
Yeah, I know him personally as well.
But all right, let's just say that he was involved in some of the stuff that they've accused him of, Kung Fu Joe. Let's just assume that to be the case. 12 life sentences plus like 100 years. 12 life sentences plus 100 years. Like,
you got real terrorists that they ain't even get that much time, bro.
Yeah, you got the people like Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
Yo,
like,
look,
come on.
The son of Sam killed 9 women. He got 25 to life.
He got 25 to life.
Yo, bro, listen.
Like, I mean, come on. So, are we really serious here?
That. I was just telling somebody that, right? Just in
life,
comparison. Bro. They'll take
David Berkowitz, bro.
Make a mistake, get out there, do something stupid, whatever, and throw a crazy number on them. 100 years plus a life sentence, right? For something.
Yes.
And you have a guy like him, son of Sam, for instance, serial killer, boom, you get one thing, you get 25 years to life.
Come on, dog. I think at some point you got to be like, you know what? Like 12 life sentences. 12. Somebody please, I got to get Rod Dick. I need to get his sentencing statement. Hold on. That's why he probably got all that time. I mean, that's why he really got that. Hold on. Let me see. Let me pull that up real quick.
I'm not gonna lie though, bro. It's like it's wicked, bro. It's wicked, bro. You heard? These people, I'm not saying, like I said, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. But the proportion of the time that they're giving the people, bro, is crazy, bro.
They're not playing fair, bro.
They giving where I'm at, they giving these kids 50 years like nothing. 40 years, 30, 40 years, 50 years. I know a couple of dudes up here, they didn't even kill nobody. They got 30 and 40 years, bro. So
they gave Rod 12 life sentences plus 105 years.
Hey, he had 12 bodies?
No.
Did they say he had 12 murders?
No.
How you get 12 life sentences and you don't even got 12 murders?
He has been on federal drug charges since October 2007 and was initially charged for the murder of Frederick Brooks that same year. He had beat the Supreme Court case against him when 2 key witnesses refused to testify. And he was also charged in the murders of Richard Russo in 2008 and Victor Zabata. So, and I'm not taking anything away from the fact that they're saying that he was a part of that to some extent or whatever like that. Those are 3 murders that they saying that he was participating in. But he got 12 life sentences plus 105 years. I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the logic in over sentencing him to all that time? And then immediately, once he was sentenced, they sent him right to ADX. Right there. So he's in ADX right now. But his sentencing statement, I read his sentencing statement in, I believe it was, what's that magazine? Not.
That's true. That you right, Rich. You right about that.
I heard that.
You were slave in prison.
All right, they the new slave masters. Gonna have some good works for the prison.
Yeah. He's right.
Bro, say new slave master, bro.
Yeah, I know, Rob. I was with him. You know,
and
what I'm
if
saying?
y'all remember, somebody actually brought that up and wanted to challenge that because that is still in the law. I mean, that is still in the law.
Yo, what's up, man? Anybody would
Prison.
like to ask questions? Any questions y'all want to ask us regarding any of the content that we spoke about today, man? Whether it's we're talking about Kanye, Kyrie, whether we're talking about these gangs, individuals getting indicted, COINTELPRO. Let us know, man. Put the questions in the chat and let us get back at you, man. Come on, man. We want this. We want to spark. Keep this
Make sure y'all
conversation
like,
sparking,
share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, run that thing up. So,
True LES need 3 more. He need 3 more to hit that 1K. 3 more, y'all. It's 123 in a building. He only need 3. Let's get it, y'all.
Come on, y'all. Pull up. At least pull up the True LES spot, man. Go give him that support that he need, y'all.
He need 3 more, y'all. We almost there.
Yeah,
hey, yo, listen. They want to do more than break the black man's spirit.
Wow.
They want to do more than that. And let me tell you something.
They don't want to break it, take it.
If 400 years of slavery ain't do it, all those murders, all that killing, all that stuff is never going to be done. It's impossible. I got a poem called The Unbreakable Will. We got the unbreakable will, bro. We got the unbreakable will.
What's LES TV thing called?
True LES Talk right here. I'm gonna put it up right here. This is it right here. True LES Talk right there. That's the name right there. That's him.
Oh, there you go. I think that's it right there.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Matter of fact, I'm to pull up. Make sure pull up. No?
Nah. He on nah. He need one more. One more, y'all.
Let's help
one
him
more.
get
up, man.
One more. Yeah, bro, but it's horrible, bro. Yo, get that bot out of here, y'all. Come on. Get that bot out of here. You need one more, y'all. Come on, let's get it. I think he got it. We had 1K subscribers. Congratulations, True LES.
Yes, talk. Congrats, bro.
Congrats, bro. You had 1K, bro. Yo, we appreciate y'all. We locked in. Y'all already know how we do over here, man. We support the people. We support good content. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Yo, I wanted to show you guys the various examples of. All right, so let's do a quick little recap. So now, and I wanted to kind of like show like a series of gang members who were indicted. We went through. I had pictures of individuals like Frank White and them from Trey and everything like that. With Goo and them. I also had stuff from the Mac Ballers, the Hounds, and all these different groups. The Rolling 60 Crips, all these different groups around the country who we're all familiar with, right? To show you guys that the government, local, state, and federal governments are still collaborating their efforts to target these groups and bring them down left and right. They're doing state task force collaboration between state agencies, and they're going after these particular groups, right? So again, if you are a part of these groups and you have no knowledge of what's going on, you're going to be going into a situation believing that you're outsmarting these individuals when these individuals are probably 100 moves ahead of you. So just like the game of chess, and again, going back to Conscious Mind Ventures, every move you make matters, right?
Every move. Good question. You see that question?
Every move that you make matters.
Yeah.
If you're making a move and you don't expect your opponent to make another move, then that means that you are a fool. You are a total fool. So you need to equip yourself with some knowledge, and you need to empower yourself a total different way, because honestly, that lifestyle is destructive and it leads to a very, very regrettable end. That's a fact. What did New York Drewski say, or Drew say?
Right, check it out. I gotta tap out, y'all. Hold it down. You already know we locked in. I gotta tap out, y'all.
Music can't be used evidence to convict.
Yo, salute to the chat. Salute to y'all. Congratulations, my bro, True LES. G'd up, Quinn. Y'all know, subscribe to the people.
We about to wrap everything up in a second, bro.
Yeah,
all
we
right,
about to wrap
bro. I'm gonna tap out.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
To y'all, bro. You know I love y'all, brothers.
I love you more, brother.
Love you too,
So what do you think about that question that that New York
Even
Jew
though they
had.
used part of his, even though they used his music, some part of his music to convict him, that wasn't the ultimate thing for his conviction, though. All right. So I don't know if it'll help. But I don't know how the feds work as far as retroactivity is concerned. But they use that and it'll probably cut some of his time. But that the only thing they would do is what? Take off one life sentence.
Well, I will have to disagree with you on that. A significant part of Rod Diggs' case was predicated on, I mean, there were individuals in his circle who the government squeezed information out of.
That's what I
That
want to
is
know.
true. But there were individuals, I mean, excuse me, there was also a significant part of that case that was based on the fact that his lyrics, like they used his lyrics against him.
So that's what I would say. So the charges at hand, because you see how the sentence is. So the charges at hand, like just how you know how the court system works, just how the thing is. So if it is retroactive and he can actually do that, right? Use that. Like, yo, they used this to convict me. Some of them convictions is based off. So he has to prove which actual charges was based specifically on that.
Yeah, it's tricky because, I mean, we don't know, and to your point, and I actually agree with that we don't know to what extent his lyrics may have had him convicted for all the charges that he was found guilty of. But
that's gonna be the
I mean, I would have to look at the law as it pertains to his case. I'm sure that now that, I mean, is that, New York Jew, is that a federal law or is that a state law? Because if it's a state law, then it wouldn't apply to Rod Diggs because it's remember, he was convicted by the feds. So just answer that question. Was it something that the state came with? Because I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
G-Dub Quinn said lyrics should never be admissible in court. I'm gonna have to push back on that, G-Dub Quinn. I believe that we do have a First Amendment right of freedom of speech. Blow Dollars Network is in the building. Smitty, shout it out, my brother, man. How you doing, man? But I'm gonna say this though. I think the freedom to speech doesn't mean that you have the freedom to say what you want, and that when you do say stuff, it cannot be used against you. So, granted, you have the freedom of speech to say,
just use something profane, for instance.
I think the way the law says it is that you don't have the freedom of speech to yell in a movie theater, fire. So you have the freedom of speech to say, hey, good morning, everybody in a movie theater. But if you scream out, it's a fire, that's still First Amendment speech. But then now that causes alarm for individuals to be running over each other. It might cause deaths and things of that nature. So there are limits to your freedom of speech. I think that there should be limits to freedom of speech. I don't think that you should just be going around saying whatever the hell you want to say. For instance, if hypothetically speaking, if Lil man gets shot in the head in the hood, and then you make a song and be like, yeah, because I shot Lil man in his head. He's like, whoa, what do you mean you shot Lil man in his head, right? Should we call you in for questioning? You dig what I'm saying, KK? It's like,
that'd be the big. So it's crazy because that'd be the biggest thing anyway with the word freedom. Period. You know what I'm saying? And this I always like goes to where people use the word freedom. Doesn't mean you're free to be stupid and ignorant and be foolish.
Nah.
Freedom doesn't mean that.
Nah, I think there should be levels to this. C Fresh 1000 said, wouldn't that be like trying to free Larry Hoover? Listen, Larry Hoover was convicted more. I think Larry Hoover was convicted more out of the fact that he was Larry Hoover versus them actually getting him particularly for anything that he did himself.
Yeah.
So Larry Hoover just happened to be at the top of the chain for the Gangsta Disciples, right? It just happens to be he was up there, but they did everything. Remember, according to Larry Hoover case, individuals went to visit him. They had the little microphones and the cameras inside the buttons and all that. So individuals were going to the visit, talking to him about stuff, but he never was incriminated in any crimes.
Pro in action again.
There you go. They got rid of Larry Hoover. Now Larry Hoover been in ADX for like the last 20 something odd years, maybe even 30 years. But I think New York Drew said this. But the music was what was used to persuade the jury. Yes, the music was what was used to persuade the jury. But again, you didn't answer the question, New York Drew. Was it was it state legislation that was passed which has banned the usage of lyrics in music? I mean, in the court, or was it on the federal level? Because if it's on the state level, then we can't even equate the two because Rod Diggs was convicted in the federal court. What's up, y'all? Y'all got any more questions y'all wanna give us, man, before we tap out? All right, hold on. Jay Rich said, should a writer get put in prison for making a murder movie on his words? That's yo. See, there goes the double standard, right? I don't think so. I don't think so. So should Arnold Schwarzenegger, or the writer, the director, and the writer of the Terminator be convicted because he wrote a movie script that requires millions of people being killed by some android? No. And I get your point. I do think that the only thing is that these type of movies are different. When we're talking about rapping, and what they've done is, again, this goes back to criminalizing what we say, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. To some extent, individuals are being criminalized for what they say, but in reality, their words are actually, in some instances, in a lot of instances, can be equated to what's going on in the community. It's helping them solve murders and crimes because individuals are actually saying this. But I do agree with you. I do think that free speech does protect you from the onslaught of the government when they try to say that you said something that could be taken out of context. And in Rod Diggs' case, he did say some stuff in his music, but could it be that he admitted to murders and stuff like that? Nah, that was too ambiguous for that. So I kind of agree with you. What about you, Kay?
Yeah, it's just slippery. That shit is just slippery though, bro.
It's a slippery slope.
It is, bro.
See, all right. So in New York Jew says it was on a state level. So that wouldn't have any effect on Rod Diggs, unfortunately. All right, listen, man. Yo, KK, man, you got any last thoughts that you want?
Only thing I want to say, man, we here, we back, man. We're gonna run this thing up, man. Bring y'all good contact, man. Make sure y'all share, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all hit that button. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And you know, let's run it up, man. It's time. There's too much stuff that's been going on. Everybody be supporting a lot of stuff, man. Support real stuff, man. Support real content so we can get these numbers up on this thing, man, and actually create, get this movement going for real. Hold
on, I see.
Link up with people,
C-Fresh
help each other out, help each other build. With this platform right here, you're trying to really build the community and strengthen ourselves up, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing, man. The purpose of us giving y'all this information, man, is so that we can build from this stuff like that. So the KK's point, there's a lot of information out here on the internet and stuff like that, and I mean in his YouTube world. And I get it. Individuals is talking what they talking and stuff like that, but that's cool. That's fine. That's damn. It ain't really none of our business. But listen, man, tell at least one person you have influence over, or maybe even two, to tune in and We Locked In, man. Our content is definitely true. It's real, and we trying to give you guys something that you can benefit from. And remember, if you didn't gain something from this conversation, then we wasted you guys' time, and that's something that we do not want to do. We don't want to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours just talking about these issues, and you ain't gained nothing from it. So our hope is that you were able to gain something from it and benefit from it so that you can utilize it or help somebody else gain benefit as well. With that, we got to tap out. To everybody that's been in the chat, G'd Up Quinn, Cracker, C-Fresh 1000. What's the brother name? Says Crocodile Dundee. Oh, they tripping. Yo, Sincere Jones. Man, I see everybody. True Elias Talk. Quick Vic. Again, man. Mike Velez. Floss Vegas, Wax AP in the building. I see everybody's up in here, man. Listen,
bro,
man.
Salute to the peoples, man. Salute to the peoples, man.
Man, free Rod Diggs, man.
Bro, love y'all. Is this right?
Yeah, he said free Rod Diggs. Of some of these comments is crazy. Knowing these things is being monitored. That's right. That's right, man. You're right. This thing is being monitored, man. Jeffro 210, D Alves, man. Listen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to We Locked In, man. I'm your host, Moshe Canty. I'm on here with my host, Mikey B, my co-host KK. Listen, man, y'all stay up out there, stay focused, man.
Find freedom in you.
And definitely stay free, man. Definitely stay free.
Facts. Peace.
All right. Peace.